All right, welcome friends and family to the presentation of this mini webinar of building your professional LLC. My name is Franklin, I'm your host today, and we are going to be going over in this mini little 15-minute webinar of the 10 critical guidelines to success for your entrepreneurial LLC. Okay, this is a webinar hosted by Creative Arizona Real Estate Academy, and we're just going to hop right in, all right, because I only got 15 minutes to change your mind about how important it is to learn about your LLC and how to structure it correctly. Now, the first thing that we need to know is that in order to be able to do this correctly, we're going to go over the 4 tenets and 6 actions, the 6 action steps that you need to take to really correctly formulate an LLC that's strong and stable, because at the end of the day, your LLC is the foundation of everything. If you go into town or anywhere that you go and you start looking around at the businesses and every public place that gives you value and that provides a public service, I pretty much can guarantee they got some kind of business or LLC or company behind that, and that they have spent enough time to go through the critical framework of what that business entails in order to be able to set up those structures. Well, we're not talking about being a sole proprietor anymore. We're not talking about little mom and pop stuff of doing it, on your own. We're actually just talking about building a professional, legitimate, limited liability company. And that's what we specialize in. That's exactly why we're here doing this mini webinar, because we specialize in these tenets and these actions to get LLCs up and going. And, that's why we're here to give you that value today and show you a little something different than what everybody else might be showing. All right. The first thing we want to talk about is the value. What is the value of your LLC? This is basically your business plan. It gives everything about what your business is, how you do it, and the whole 9 yards. If you're an entrepreneur, you've already basically got this down. So your value is what you always are constantly increasing and providing to your customer. But having that baseline of what it is the very first tenet that you need to know in order to continue on this step of building a professional LLC. Number 2 is our dedication. Okay, you have to be prepared for what it is going to entail. You're actually making a business baby, okay? If you look into the same analogy of the, amazing human being, well, it takes 2 to tango, so you and another person have to come together in order to make a baby. Well, same thing for an LLC. If you do it by yourself, then you're considered a sole proprietorship. Your taxes are disregarded just straight to you. So an LLC is actually 2 people coming together, at least 2 people coming together and creating a brand new entity with regards to this being state recognized as a new entity. And that's what your federal EIN is, your new baby's tax ID. That is your baby's social security number. It gives you access to a whole plethora of benefits that we'll talk about in just a moment as well. So dedication. You have to make sure that you're dedicated to really actually starting this business baby so that you can grow it up for success, and that you're laying that foundation right now. The third tenet is our autodidacticism. You're already here utilizing your autodidact traits, and you're taking control of your learning. An autodidact is simply someone who is a self-taught learner, and even if you go to school and get formal education, you're still an autodidact in that term. But you don't have to go to school to get the information that you need. You just have to be resourceful. It's all out there for you. And then the fourth tenet is our application. We're going to take everything that we always learn and we're going to utilize that so that we can actually take action with it. It is amazing being able to learn knowledge and learn different principles, but if at the end of the day those principles don't actually give you the ability to utilize action and change your beliefs or actions to get different results, then, well, what might be the point of that information? That's for you to decide yourself. So first 4 tenets: value, our dedication, the autodidacticism of us knowing that we have to learn the things on our own to make this happen, and then the application is us actually doing it. The next 6 steps are our 6 actions and actually making a legitimate limited liability company, and that's across all 50 states. So we have to choose our name and domain, and it has to be something together that goes, together. If your name is The Honeybee, you probably want to get a domain that is thehoneybee.com. Your domain is simply, your .com address, and we'll go over all this in the class. Number 2 is actually the most important thing for your professional business LLC, and that's your operating agreement. Okay, we're going to go so into depth in this because this is the critical, key, crucial aspect of your business that is going to outline how you do everything. You have your what and your why, what you're doing and why you're doing it. Now this is how you are doing that, and you are going to go through every little step because this has to be very thorough. And if you ever look at anybody else's, we're going to look at examples of operating agreements, and they might be lengthy, but we can just take that information and present it in another way where it's very easy to understand. But we have to know that the operating agreement of our LLC is the number one most important aspect that we need to learn and create for ourselves so that we know we can grow and thrive in the future, and that we know that our business has the right operating procedures for everyone else to follow as well. Number 3 through 6, that's what we're going to be doing with the state, specifically whatever state that you're in, which we'll be filing our articles of organization or the articles of incorporation. Just varies depending on what state you're on, which are basically just your certifications of formation with the state you're in. Choosing your designated statutory agent, that's only basically the mailman, who whatever state that you establish your LLC in, there has to be some physical address that the mail goes to in that state, and that's just your designated statutory agent. It can be you, as long as you're in the state that you create your LLC in, which you can create an LLC in any state. We're going to go through that. Publication requirements, they're a little area specific. Some counties have different things, but there is some general publication requirements for each state. And then the federal EIN registration, which we said before is the tax ID. According to the government, you'll have your tax ID because we're doing legitimate business. This is a legitimate company. It's a limited liability company. You have your tax ID. That's your business's social security number, and it gives you opportunities to give you all the benefits that we'll talk about in just a moment. Now, we would just want to do a quick, reflection and motivation about what we're actually doing here. And we just want to say very openly and bluntly that you can do this. There are lots of services out there, and there are lots of things that say that you can't do that and that you need some kind of service in order to be an entrepreneur. Well, we firmly believe that you do not. We think that you should pursue the information that you need in order to enable yourself to do it on your own, or get enough information to realize who to pay so that you know that you don't want to have to do it yourself. All right. But understanding your business is absolutely crucial to success. Knowing just how your LLC is actually formulated and what goes into your actual business, that's how you think about things differently. You need to know about your own LLC. If you outsource other things, fantastic. That is your choice. But outsourcing the creation of your actual business and failing to learn what you need to know to properly build this for success, that's something that we do not endorse. And we think that you should learn or do some kind of class, and that's why we have created this class, was because we want to give you the information you need to understand these concepts yourself. That's the service that we're here to provide, and we're here with that community, and that's why we're here. We are here to help learn strategically so that you can act effectively for the benefit of your business, your family, yourself, and the community at large. This is exactly what you need to know to really launch your business to the next level. Now, with that federal EIN number, we're going to have a number of professional opportunities available to us as a professional business LLC, and that is we'll be able to have, we can create our business bank account, and we'll have loans and credit card opportunities, tax benefits when we start writing off our business expenses and things of that nature. Our future business partnerships will be built upon the scalability that our operating agreement gives us, and our being able to word correctly in that operating agreement will allow for the growth and addition of other things to our company. You're going to know, like, let's say for example that you want to add a research section to your company? Well, if you have it outlined in your operating agreement that your board has to come together in order to approve a new kind of subdivision of your company in order for that company to get funding, well, you have the scalability, you have that model inside of your operating agreement of how to approach scaling your company. That's what it's about. You can cover the leadership changes, the managements, all of this is just a how-to guide. If you see that smartphone right here, that smartphone, when you have everything correctly formed, anybody who joins your business can just simply get on. You can share with them your operating agreement and they can use their smartphone smarter, and they can actually be able to pull up your operating guidelines on their phone and read them. So there will be no discrepancy between you and your employees ever. They will always have that. This is the digital age. We can do everything basically digital now, and that's what we can do. We'll have paper copies, but yet everything can be shared like that so that you can train your employees to do that correctly. So when you have that correct operating agreement, then your business guidelines can be shared via smartphone or any other medium for your complete business philosophy, your code of conduct, how you operate, what goes on with regards to meeting requirements, the whole 9 yards. It can just all be shared very easily. Okay, so as we continue on in this whole process, this is not simply just a class to teach you about these guidelines. We also want you to join our family so that we can watch and we can grow together over this next year. There are a lot of different things going on in 2020, and we believe that building this community and building the core guidelines and having the right people in the right community doing this is what we need right now. So our family, this is what we're going after for the rest of 2020, which is, we are working with everyone to establish their LLCs. We want to help and do our beta class and do what we can to help everyone and follow these action steps so that we can establish that. Over the next 3 to 6 months, we're going to be growing from the ground up. We're going to be using the assistance of the entrepreneurial family, launching more classes, and we're going to be propagating everyone to really build that entrepreneurship up over the next 3 to 6 months. And then when we finally start really getting results and we start formulating our tax plans for next year and learning about all of those different ones, we're going to see how our businesses are actually making money, and we're going to go over how to make more of that and checking out our resources and seeing how we managed to do with what products or what services we are doing, and we're going to go over how to continuously propagate that even higher. So we're not talking about just some class of learning just how to propagate your business and do your LLC right now. We're talking about the next 3 to 12 months in a community to where we can really get together and start doing this and establish the LLC over the next month or 2 months or however long it takes you. And then we're going to grow and multiply together so that we can achieve those results and share that with the world. And that's the entire purpose of this. We want to welcome you to the family because it is action time. Right now, we're getting everybody together so that we can launch everyone's business so that they can be successful as well and provide for their family. That's the point. We no longer, have the ability to provide for ourselves, for our real estate academy, and now we want to reach out and have everyone else be able to do it. And we realize that this is exactly the time. There are some people that might not have a job to go back to in a couple months, and we need to get started now launching this entrepreneurial career. Our first 20 of our new 2020 students are getting the $100 beta class special, which is also the introductory. They get membership into our family, but this whole class, they get that special introductory $100 beta class. And that's going to include, we have a mini webinar here that covered all of the 10 steps of what we were going to cover. So we're going to have a live 3-hour webinar that you're going to go through, which will be another real serious in-depth view of all the other steps. And then after that webinar, you will have the complete 10 individual classes and online resources that are going to be there each individual hour each for each individual 10 classes, which are going to guide you back through the process that we go over again. And you're going to have access to our private group, the one-on-one guidance, and the business strategy. We're all going to have all those resources together. So come on, Join the family. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the live class. And may I say, welcome to the family.